Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Yeah, there's a time now where we're pretty much out of COVID, and a lot of us are reevaluating our life and our personal situations, our careers, and looking for help to try and move that forward. Or maybe you're dealing with a challenge from the past. Maybe something has happened in your life, and I don't know what's going on during these last 2 years with COVID, but there's been a lot going on in terms of our personal lives and changes. Yeah. I don't know why that happened, but I can relate. And she's here to help you out. She is a master transformational life consultant, among many other things. And Thomie Campbell joins us. Hi, Thomie. How you doing?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
Doing very well. It's great to have you on here. And yeah, life happens. Lots of different circumstances. Are you hearing that from different people that they're looking to make some changes or kind of turn the car a little bit in terms of the direction that they're going?
All the time. And oftentimes, we know what we want to do, but we don't really know how to shift.
Yeah, I totally got that. And you might know where you want to be, but you don't know how to get there. And you might even see the path, but sometimes I'm not even sure what path to take.
Right.
You also deal with people that have challenging situations, maybe a passing or, just things that have happened in their lives. You work with them on those levels as well, right?
Yes. And so for a person who is grieving, I try to get them to harvest the good. Think about some of the greatness of the person who have passed. What are some of the good qualities of that person? What are the strengths of that person? And so when you lean in and harvest the good, then it helps also with the grieving. And so I always look at it as when you harvest the good, then that person's life is not in vain because they were here and although they passed, don't want to say although they passed, but when they passed, when they were here on earth, those things that they did, it had a purpose, it served a purpose. So to just hone in on those and it helps with your grieving.
I don't believe there are any coincidences in life. And I recently met somebody, and there's a anniversary coming up, a 1-year anniversary of an important passing in their lives. And I'll be honest, I don't know what to say. Like, what do you say? I want to offer support. I'm there for you. And it's almost as if you don't want to stir the pot anymore. What are your suggestions to talk to somebody that's in a situation like that?
No one wants to hear you say, I understand, because to them, you don't understand. This was their loved one. Yeah. So the only thing that I found that would be comforting is to say, I know this is a tough time for you. I'm here if you need someone to talk to, or you need someone to listen to you. I'm a good ear. Sometimes you don't need feedback. You just need to let it out. So.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to one thing, knowing that there is somebody there for you or people that are there in case you want to talk. Maybe you don't want to, and that's fine too. But yeah, I appreciate that. It's again, interesting that we're talking and that's coming up tomorrow. And I was literally in my car about 30 minutes ago thinking, I'm going to send a text tomorrow, but I'm not really sure what to write. And I don't want to, I don't want to stir things up in emotions, but I want to make myself available. I want to be there for them. Yes. So appreciate it.
Usually people will give you an idea of whether they need space or they want to be around other people. So you just kind of hone in on some of the keywords, or if you can see them, or just watch their body movement. If they get kind of silent, then just give them a little space.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes a hug is good.
Yes.
You don't have to say a word, just like, I got you if you need me, and I'm there.
Yes. And yes, certainly.
Yeah. So with what you do, and you help so many people as a life mastery consultant, how did this start for you? You must have a passion for helping people.
I do. I've been helping people since I was a little girl. And I didn't see it then, like I see it now. When the show was coming up and I thought about that, I was like, yeah, I've been doing this since I was a little girl. I used to help the elderly in our community. I would run to the store for them. I would sweep their house, dust.
Hmm.
Then I was challenged to make chicken and dumplings when I was about 8 years old. And I used to watch my mom cook. And so they were like, your mom is a good cook, so I know you can do this. And I did. And it just became a passion, it just built from there. And it was something I just really enjoyed doing, was helping other people. And my life work was to become a medical doctor and go to Africa and heal all the children. And my father thought, no, you need to just be a secretary like other women. And I was like, no way, man, So I just stayed in the helping field. So.
Wow. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you, are you an empath?
MIA.
Empath? Somebody that feels the emotion from somebody else?
No, I don't allow the transference.
Okay. Fair enough. I got you there. Yeah.
But, I do have empathy, for others. I have compassion, but I also have a wall. So
Yep.
I can't allow other people's emotions to drive me.
And their energy too. And yes,
Right.
and I know quite a few people who admit that they're empaths, and not easy. If you don't shut it down, it's not easy at all.
Yeah, I'm more, yeah, let's leave it there. I know.
Yep. I got you. I totally understand. What's your suggestion for people? Because you work on many different levels. Do I have it right? You're a pastoral counselor as well,
Correct.
right? And of course, a life mastery consultant helping people.
Mhm.
How do you stay positive?
That's me innately. I think I'm just born that way. And then, I can't say wholeheartedly that I've never had anything to, drive me, the other direction. But, there was a time when I had a work situation, and I'm just going to call it what it is. It was a workplace bullying
Mm.
situation. And I always saw myself as a strong person. I didn't let other people's feelings or emotions or what they thought of me, I didn't let any of that, drive me at all. But this was a whole different level. And this person I saw as evil. And I was having nightmares regarding this person. And so anyway, and what drove me to, I call my darkness, is that I was finally in a job that I really liked. And I knew that that was going to catapult me to the next level. And I allowed this person to drive me away from it. And I went into a dark state. And so anyway, long story short is that when I came through my darkness, I came out with this supernatural joy. And so now when things happen, they happen, it doesn't penetrate me. And it just bounces off. It lasts for a moment and I'm right back. And so that situation taught me that I needed my armor more than anything. So
I don't want to agree just to agree, but I totally understand what you're saying, because I used to let things get inside me.
mhm.
And, in the last couple of years, I've created that armor out there and it doesn't mean that I'm not sensitive and caring and warm, but it's almost like you press the force field when you need to, and it comes up when you
Mhm.
need to use it, and you just kind of let things roll off you. And it's like,
Mhm.
all right, on to the next thing. And I don't want to say you expect a disappointment sometimes, but if it happens, it happens. You
Right,
can't.
that's what it is. If I can't change it,
Right.
so what's in this situation that I can take from it? How do I keep smiling? How do I keep living in this situation? I don't want to live in a storm. So, I smile through the storm. And like I said, if I can't change it, it is what it is.
I say that all the time, and sometimes people beat on me for saying it is what it is. Like, why do you say that? How can you just say that? Because it is
It
what it
is
is.
what it is.
I can't change it. Maybe you can't change it. And I think that's maybe where a lot of people go wrong, because we focus on those things that we
Mhm,
can't change, and we let it fester in our heads and marinate over and over again. But
mhm.
in the end, what are you wasting your time for? Because if it's somebody who did something, or they continually do something, you can't change them. You can give them your opinion, but they're probably not going to care. They're going to keep doing whatever they're doing, and that's it. So why waste the
That's it.
time?
That's the way I feel. I agree.
You're letting their bad energy get inside you, where you
Hmm.
just make that go away. Make that go away. I don't need to deal with that.
Hmm.
Have you been finding a lot of people are looking for a different career path lately?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, they're thinking about, since COVID happened and they're working from home and things are a lot calmer in their lives. So they're looking for jobs that are remote. They don't want to go into the office.
Mm.
And sometimes that brings on a whole different uh, career. So
Yeah. Somebody wants to reach out. By the way, before we even continue, your website, give it to us now, please.
it is drthomie.com. That's drthomie.com.
And I have to ask you, because I just can't ignore things. I'm like a little kid. If it's there, I got to poke it a little bit.
Hmm.
Uh, your name is unique, Thomie.
Hmm.
Uh, can you tell us where you got that?
Well, my dad is Tommy, was Tommy.
Okay, gotcha.
And
Uh-huh.
so people call my name is actually Thomasine, and people call me Tommy for short. And so I just spelt it, to be a little unique. As the THOM, just took half of my name, just put the IE on it.
Yeah, I love that. But you know what? If you spelt it the other way, it would be the spelling of a guy's name. So now
Hmm.
you've kind of made it your own. That's super cool.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so if somebody is looking for, let's say, a different career path, and they reach out to you, where does it start in terms of you helping them navigate?
Well, we don't start as well. We start at what is it that you want to do? And then we start unpeeling the layers to identify why is it this? Because in our mind, we may say um, we want to be a school teacher. But when you start making the path and unraveling the layers and seeing what it is that you really like and identifying yourself. So a lot of us go through life and we don't really know who we really are. We haven't really searched ourselves. We haven't taken the time to just be silent with ourselves and just really learn ourselves. And sometimes we have had a mentor, and that mentor was a teacher. And so we thought, oh yeah, I want to be a teacher. Well, is it something you really want to do? So what I do, I just kind of go through a path, and we peel the layers back and to find out where your true passion is, and then we move forward from there.
Has that happened a few times, Tommy, where you've worked with somebody and they've said that they had a career in mind, and you peel back the layers and they discovered, well, maybe that's not the right thing for me, and then you help them see that this might be a better path for them?
Yes, and so I'm so happy you asked me that, because I had someone, actually it was a friend, we were talking and she was trying to find herself. And she kept saying that she wanted to have this business. I don't want to say, but, and I was like, okay, so let's find out about you. What are some of the things that you are really happy about, some of the things that you've done in the past? And she started naming things that was totally separate from that. So I asked, so why are you seeking this career? Because of the money? So are you really going to be happy doing that? Well, I would love to make money doing that. So let's take a look at that. Let's look at some ways you can get money doing this, and you can make this a career. Would you like that versus doing this other? She's like, you're really good. You're really good. I like that. And so she took that other path. And
Wow.
so, yeah. And she was happy.
It's interesting how sometimes you don't know what you're about unless somebody else takes a look from the outside in
Mhm,
and pulls those things out of you.
mhm,
Uh, yeah, it's funny because I've always done radio,
mhm,
and I got out of radio a bunch of years ago because I wanted to help people,
mhm,
and I had that was my passion. I was like, yeah, you know what, that's what I'm going to do now. So I was looking for jobs at like external director at a hospital and things like that. And three
mhm,
months later, I'm like, you dork. You were doing it all along. That's
mhm.
you were doing it, but you didn't realize that you were doing it. So I got back into it, and that's actually somebody said that to me. So it was somebody that said that you are doing what you wanted to do, but you didn't realize that you were doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, if somebody goes to your website, drtommy.com, is it a free consultation? Like how does it all begin?
Sure. I have an email, or you can give me a call. I have a 800 number or a toll-free number, and you can schedule a free 30-minute strategy session with me. And the strategy session is just to see if we are a fit together, and to find out what it is that the person needs, and if it's something that I can assist with. And so if we can work together, and then we'll start from there, and book a session, well, decide on a program. I have several programs, and they can last from a 3-month commitment to a 12-month commitment. So it depends on what it is that we're targeting. And I do use the word commitment because it is a commitment.
Yeah. You need to want to make a change. And it's the
Mhm.
same thing with hypnosis. They always say, let's say you want to stop smoking, you've got to want to stop smoking. You can't just go
Exactly.
to somebody and have them say, boop, and you're done. You can't just go to, Tommy and say, yeah, I want a brand new job. Boop, oh, done. It doesn't work that way. You,
No, it is work, and it is homework. Homework is involved. So
Mhm.
because this is a lifestyle change. It's not just oh, okay, I want a new job, or I want to find out who I really am, or I'm grieving, or I'm a widow. You know, it's homework involved. It's a lot of, I say again, peeling back the layers. So in every situation, we peel back the layers, and then we move from there. And I don't just look at one part of the body. I look at the whole person. So it's not just about a job. I involve your health, your relationships. I involve the entire person.
It must be such a revelation for many that you work with when you peel those layers back and they realize who they really are.
Mhm. Yes, and I think it's just as rewarding for me than it is for them. Yeah.
I'll bet. Yeah, it's almost like you're Tommy CSI. You're an investigator going into somebody's psyche, their brain, talking and learning, about them. The 3-month program, let's look at that one for just a second.
Mhm.
How much interaction do you have with somebody that you work with?
We meet in any of the sessions or the programs. We meet once a week. And during that 1 week session, we go over your homework. We discuss at the next level, and we replay the week before. But most of it is the homework, and seeing what did you get out of that.
And as a pastoral counselor, tell me about that. I mean, I've heard the term before, but I'm not 100% sure what somebody does in that role.
So in the role, it's just a counselor, and sometimes people want to have the biblical aspect brought into it, and so I am able to take um, the master life, the transitional coach or consultant aspect of it, as well as a counseling aspect, and bringing in the spiritual aspect, that's for people who desire that. But if you don't, we don't bring that in. And like I mentioned earlier, that I went through my darkness, and when I did, I wanted a spiritual counselor, and they were far and few. And then when I did, the insurance didn't pay for it. So I was actually had completed my doctorate degree in organizational leadership. And I was one of those people doing it just for the money. And then just as I completed, I was about to take my exams, and the darkness hit. And then as I came through it, I realized, the corporate world is not for me. I'm not a doggy dog person. And so it was not a fit. And my true passion was always biblical. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to do what I enjoy doing, and I'm already helping people. And so I I switched my degree program and started over and became a pastoral counselor. And then I added the consulting on with that, so that I better help other people.
That's great. And I said before, I believe this, things happen for a reason. Do you think that the darkness situation that you had to deal with, do you think that maybe that happened for a reason to kind of reset you and push you?
Absolutely. And do you know that my life has been more at peace ever since? Even though I didn't go directly into the coaching and spiritual counseling after I finished, I continued working, in corporate world, but it gave me a different peace to do that. So it became a stepping stone instead of money in my pocket.
Yeah.
I had a whole different view about working for the corporate world.
How long did it take for you to get to change your direction after that dark period?
It took about a year and a half.
Yeah. Sometimes some things are worth waiting for, and interesting.
Yeah, it took about a year and a half to come out of that darkness. And then as I did, I was like, okay, I can't just stay at home. I have to do something. And I thought about, what am I going to do? And so that's what I was going to do. I was going to give up the entire degree program and just go straight into psychology. And my late husband at the time, he had said, don't just give it up. He said, contact the school and see if they would transfer any units. And it went so smoothly. I got half of my units and straight A, and it was meant to be. That's the way I felt. It was meant to be. And I've been better for it.
Yeah. It's interesting when you're going through it. You're like, well, how is this? Why? What is going on here? And sometimes you don't know what is part of the plan until you get past it. But yeah, I totally agree with you. And I know you're very spiritual. Maybe there was some intervention there that, we need to take Thomie and go, beep, beep, wake up a little bit here. And sometimes my analogy is sometimes you got to go through the birth canal to get to the other side. And baby being born can't be the most comfortable situation ever. But when you're in life, then okay, now things are good, and and then you grow just like a baby. drthomie.com is your website, and it's drthomie.com, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I got to believe you're available if anybody, even if they're going through a dark situation right now, you're available to talk to them and coach them and set them on at least give them an idea of what you can do to help them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of my things that I really like helping people with is workplace bullying. So I'm even writing a book on that. So it should be coming out at the end of the year. I've said that like 3 times. It's coming out here, but I am committed to the end of the year. So it is a book of my experiences, and I put some spiritual pieces in it, as not only for the spiritual person, but it's how anyone can get lifted, in a workplace situation.
And thank you and God bless you for writing a book like that, because I can't think of any that are out there. And look at what that situation is like, or was like for you. You show up at that job every day. You have to be there. It's supporting you, family, whatever it might be, and you're trapped. What do you do? How do you deal with that? And what, go to management? Well, that could set up another storm right over there.
And it does. So this book really walks you through my situations, and it's through my trials that you can know exactly what to do.
Well, I dare I say that maybe that situation happened to you so that you could write a book and help people.
Yes.
Maybe it did. I don't know. I don't have that answer. I'm not that good. Thomie, it was great talking with you today, and thanks for all the insight, and great to know that you're somebody there that can help people in many different situations. And I have to tell you, out of all, coaches and consultants, you don't find many that can help through dark situations. Sometimes it's a career coach and that's what they specialize in, but you're kind of more of a 360 approach to it, which is like super cool. It really is.
Yeah, thank you for that, because people keep saying you need a niche. I'm like, but what I offer in my training, we didn't have a niche. We help everybody.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And I don't think you need a niche in this situation, because so many people are going through a dark situation. And then once they get through it, maybe they're looking for a change in terms of their career, their life, their path, whatever it might be. Yes. Spell the website once again. I want to make sure we got it right.
Spell it. It's drthomie.com. So drthomie.com.
Great. Go there, learn some more. By the way, great website. Got to tell you that.
Thank you.
Really is good. And look forward to catching up sometime soon. It's great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good talking with you.
You too. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.